Good to have you with us. So this is an agreement on the procedure now for more substantive talks. It's being hailed as a breakthrough. How important is it?
Well, I've spent most of my professional career working for peace in Afghanistan, but I'm very leery about this. And let me tell you why I'm leery. If this was a historical breakthrough, why haven't they published the 3-page memo so we can actually see the specifics? The other thing there's a number of things that need to be kept in mind. These, quote, peace negotiations started on August 12th, I believe. So it's taken 2.5 months to come to an agreed agenda before the talks can even get into substantial issues. Now, Zalmay Khalilzad today tweeted that it also calls for a possible ceasefire. Why don't they immediately institute a ceasefire if they were extremely sincere about ending this conflict? And it's very interesting. Within the last 48 hours, reports suggest that over 400 Taliban have attacked the city of Kandahar. And I think it's also very important to recognize that there's only 50 days left of the Trump administration. And Khalilzad desperately wants to have some type of agreement that his name is attached to. And there's no guarantee at all that Khalilzad will maintain his position as special ambassador to Afghanistan and Pakistan, or whatever his title is. And I find, so I think that some of this could be rushed for a variety of reasons that go way beyond the notion of peace in Afghanistan. And I've got a number of other things I could suggest on this if you would like.
Well, I mean, one thing I would like to ask you is that, if we're talking about some kind of final political settlement between the two sides, is that even possible, given that both sides have a very, very different vision of what they want for Afghanistan? I mean, for a start, the Taliban, are they even going to accept a democratic process? Are they going to accept education for women? They seem to be coming at this from two positions which seem very difficult to reconcile.
Well, I think your point is very well taken. They've already come out and publicly stated that the way women would be treated in Afghanistan is not at all like they're presently being treated. But I think it's very important to understand, in answering your question, to recognize that the Taliban publicly stated before these, quote, intra-Afghan talks in Doha, that they had two non-negotiable demands. One was the reestablishment of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, and two was the institutionalization of their radical Deobandi view of Sharia law. Now, either of these would end the Afghan constitution and the Kabul government as we presently know it. I think it's also very interesting to recognize the fact that a week ago or so, Khan visited Kabul, the first Pakistani prime minister in history to ever go to Afghanistan. And I think that one of the reasons he went there was to get Ghani to accept some of the Taliban's demands. And, I haven't seen any real write-up on what those discussions suggested. But I think the bottom line is quite simple. If this is a historical agreement, why not show what the agreement is? I mean, when Khalilzad was negotiating with the Taliban for the last two years, about a year ago, maybe 14 months ago, the United States Congress asked Zalmay to come and to brief them, and he refused to do that. And we found out that the, quote, peace negotiations that he was having with the Taliban were basically negotiations for a phased withdrawal over 14 or 16 months. If you believe in those negotiations, the United States is to have all of their forces withdrawn from Afghanistan by May of next year. So there's just a lot of things that just seem very convenient that don't make sense to me. Um,
Great.
but it really comes down to the fact, if they're sincere, if the Taliban are sincere about this, why don't they immediately call for a ceasefire? I mean,
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question. Thank you very much. We're going to have to leave it there, but that's some really good points that you make, Thomas. Thank you very much indeed for that. Thomas Johnson there from Monterey in California.